Alright guys, so in this video we're gonna reveal the first champion for the Echoes of Oz campaign. If you have missed it, there was a teaser on YouTube and posted on the Raid Shadow Legends Discord as well. I'm gonna play it right here. And we're going to take a closer look at Ozilda the Wicked. This is the design, absolutely amazing. She has a very evil smile on her face. And yeah, looks amazing. Looks like a, improved version of Madame Saris. And she's also in the same faction. And you can see definitely a lot of similarities. Now, here's the kit. It is a legendary support type champion. The name is Ozilda the Wicked, as we already said, from the Dark Elves faction, Void Affinity, and let's take a look at the A1. Enfeebling Curse attacks all enemies, and AoE A1 is always good, and especially nowadays with total guard stacks, you definitely prefer AoE A1s over single target A1s. It has a 40% chance of placing a block active skills debuff for one turn. If this is booked, it only needs 3 books. The chance goes up to 60%. Has a 100% chance instead against targets who are under a fear or true fear debuff. Very interesting. I hope she has fear or true fear in her kit. I haven't read the kit yet. This is the first time I'm looking at it, okay? Now, solid A1, I would say, block active skills, AoE, and is a 100% chance if the target is feared or true feared. Looks okay. The A2, You Can't Escape Me, can be booked down to a 3-turn cooldown. This needs 4 books, so we are at 7 in total. And this skill removes all buffs from all enemies, so it's a buff strip, no hit, which is good, but it wouldn't really matter because she's Void Affinity anyway. So she can't weak hit, right? But here there is no hit, so removes all buffs from all enemies. Alright, pretty straightforward. Then steals 30% of each enemy's turn meter if they're under a fear or true fear debuff. Again, fear, true fear synergy. Has a 100% chance if booked of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff and a 100% ensnare debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Now, for those that don't remember what ensnare actually does, because it is not that, of a common debuff, not many champions have it, and here you can see it. Any turn meter increase effects received by a champion with the ensnare debuff will be reduced by 50% or 100%, depends on if it's a small or a big version, okay? So that's what ensnare does. All right, so you buff strip, you steal turn meter if they are under fear or true fear, so there is a condition, and then you have a 100% chance, if booked, to place decreased defense and ensnare. Pretty cool, actually. I think this is a solid skill. For PvE, I can definitely see a lot of value in this skill. Removing buffs, then placing debuffs, especially decreased defense. But yeah, so far, solid skill. I just don't see it being helpful in PvP unless you are somehow able to get rid of total guard stacks. Now the A3, Lambs to Slaughter. That is a funny name for that skill. Is a 6-turn cooldown, can be booked down to 4 turns, and it's an AoE attack. Places a Master Seal debuff on the initial target for 2 turns. This is interesting. I think this is the first champion we get with Master Seal. Once again, I think most of you guys don't really know what this actually does. So there are 2 versions of this debuff, Seal and Master Seal. The Seal debuff blocks effects from gear sets, masteries, except stat boosts granted by artifacts and accessories, as well as masteries that only boost stats like Blade Disciple, Flawless Execution, etc. Okay, so you disable gear sets with the normal seal, which is kind of cool because, you can disable the Mercurial set, for example. The most popular champion that does this is Carnage. Now, Master Seal is an enhanced version of this debuff, which additionally blocks the effects from blessings, relics, and gemstones, except stat boosts. Okay, pretty cool. This is a very, very amazing debuff. Blessings can be deciding in a game, in a match, in a PvP match. And this is all that's there for, I think. I don't think there are any situations where I would want Master Seal in PvE necessarily. But for PvP, this is a very, very strong debuff, right? You disable blessings, relics as well, for example, storm column areas, and gemstones. Okay, so this is very, very good. So after you place the Master Seal debuff on the initial target for 2 turns, you also have a 30% chance of placing a sheep debuff on all other enemies for 1 turn. Okay, so we get the sheep debuff here, but only a 30% chance. That is kind of weird. Places a block passive skills debuffs for 2 turns instead if the 30% chance does not activate sheep debuffs. I don't know how to feel about this skill. A lot of debuffs, and every time you have debuffs, especially if you think about PvP, it's kind of like, okay, will you be able to place them? Because there is total guard, right? And that is kind of like the thing that will probably hold this champion back unless you can somehow get rid of those total guard stacks. Now the passive is called Beyond Deranged, and this champion is immune to Sheep, Fear, True Fear, and Snare, block active skills, Seal, Master Seal, and block passive skills. Wow, okay, so a lot of stuff that this champion is immune to. Kind of interesting. You can only stun her, provoke her. What else? Stun her, provoke her. I think that's it. Lock her out. I guess that would work, right? But other than that, there's not much control you can do here. Block, like immune to block passives and block actives is actually pretty huge. So there's no way around this, right? You can't block the passives, so you can block the actives, like you could do on Theodosia's second form, for example. But here you can't do that at all. That is very interesting. I like this passive, but then again, Total Guard might just, disable her for PvP. Whenever an enemy receives a buff, has a 50% chance of placing a True Fear debuff on that enemy for 1 turn, will ignore any block debuffs buffs. This effect can only activate once per skill and once per target. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one will activate. This skill will not activate on duplicate copies of this champion if this particular champion is dead. Interesting, okay. This champion and their allies deal 20% more damage against enemies under Fear or True Fear debuffs. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one will activate. This skill will not activate on duplicate copies of this champion if this particular champion is dead. All right, so every time the enemy buffs, you have a 50% chance of placing True Fear. It cannot be blocked, but it can be blocked by Total Guard stacks. It cannot be blocked by block debuffs. And it will only activate once per skill. So let's say a Siphi buffs with 3 buffs, it will only place 1 True Fear. Okay, so that means if you would build her in Deflection, for example, you could get rid of some Total Guard stacks that way, but only 1, right? Only 1 stack per skill. I don't know if that's enough. I don't think so. For PvP, I don't think she is that amazing. Maybe for Dark Elves siege posts, she will be great for Faction Wars Hard or Faction Wars in general. You have a lot of control there, block active skills, Ensnare, Master Seal, True Fear, right? So I do think there is some value for like wave content, but I don't think she will be incredibly strong for PvP unless we are moving away from Total Guard. And we already have that rework, right, with Provoke and stuff. So there might be a slight shift towards Stone Skin again. Maybe just a little bit. Some champions, some players already built a few champions in Stone Skin again. And we might see a little shift. But until then, or unless we have more ways to get rid of total guard stacks, I don't think she will be S tier or picked as often for PvP. And I also don't see any use for like Chimera or Hydra. It's basically just maybe like wave content, faction wars hard, and maybe siege posts. That's the only area where I see this champion being useful at the end game level. But yeah, guys, that's about it for this video. This is my opinion on this champion. Oh yeah, she has an accuracy aura, all battles accuracy aura, 70 accuracy, not bad. But yeah, nothing too crazy. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about this champion? Ozilda the Wicked is the first champion that we know of this Echoes of Oz campaign. And I can't wait to see the other ones. And I don't know how many other ones there are, but I'm guessing there are a few more. And by the way, there was a so-called leak going around in Discord. And that's this screenshot right here. And yeah, so this is fake, okay? This is absolutely fake. This is not real. Somebody just generated this one with AI. And yeah, it looked real on the first look. Like, I thought it was real at first, but if you take a closer look, it's kind of weird because for one, you have like ratings on the champions, like 300, 200 ratings, which is not really realistic. And also, I don't think two of them will be Void Affinity. I don't know, maybe, but maybe not. But yeah, this is Plarium's answer that this is fake, okay, from the officials. I like, maybe some of the champions look like this. I have no idea. The first one got actually pretty close. Let's actually compare this. I mean, but that one was also in the teaser. Yeah, I guess you could make that argument, right? That this champion was in the teaser, but it doesn't look exactly like this one. But yeah, I don't know. All I can say is that this picture right here, or these so-called leaks, are fake. That's what the Plarium officials are saying. So please, guys, be patient. Wait for some official info. We're gonna give it to you as soon as possible. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed, please hit that like button. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you enjoyed this video, YouTube's going to think that you like this one as well. Take care and see you in the next one.